Hello everyone, my name is Przemek Chojecki and this will be a test of streaming capabilities of YouTube, and also I want to do a really long streaming about data science and all the tools that are possible to use uh, and all the materials that you can find online. So it's going to be really a marathon. I want to go really at least over an hour and see what's going on YouTube, and let's see what happens. So I want to start by reviewing some of the channels that you can find online, and let's watch together YouTube channels. I have my tea already. You probably have to make your tea as well in order to go for everything that I'll be saying. It seems that everything is going fine so far. Let me know in the chat. Let's see what we see right now. So I want to review some of the the other YouTube channels that are about data science, machine learning, papers. Because some of them I know, I already watched a couple of them, I'm subscribed to them, but I will be discovering some more along the way, and let's see how it goes. So it's 2020, so let's get crazy and let's to review some super fantastic content there is online, because I believe that we truly live in this era where everything is online. You can learn these amazing tools online. You don't have to pay anything. It's all there for free. So yeah, let's go. So the first YouTube channel that I want to review is 2 Minute Papers. I guess it's done by a guy from Hungary, I think, and the name is pretty self-explanatory. The author takes the paper and analyzes it. So, for example, OpenAI, I love OpenAI. Let's see what's going
Dear
on in
fellow
there.
scholars, this is 2 Minute Papers with Károly Zsolnai Fehér. Reinforcement learning is a technique in the field of machine learning to learn how to navigate in a labyrinth, play a video game, or to teach a digital creature to.
Yeah, as you can see, he has really cool animations that are going on. This is about the OpenAI paper. So the gym is the environment of OpenAI that they created for reinforcement learning and for different benchmarks that you can use in reinforcement learning.
Approximately 300 episodes ago, OpenAI published one of their first major works by the name Gym, where anyone could submit their solutions and compete against each other on the same games.
This is all about the benchmark. So he's reviewing the paper, I guess, and probably he's talking also about the most recent results. That was about the robotic arm.
Push buttons, or move a box around to a prescribed position. The constraint part comes in whenever some sort of safety violation happens, which are, in this environment, collisions with the boxes or blue regions. All of these events are highlighted with this red sphere, and a good learning algorithm should be instructed to try to avoid these. The goal of this project is that in the future, for reinforcement learning algorithms, not only the efficiency, but the safety scores should also be measured.
Yeah, so uh, this is all
Linode has
about
been
it.
supported by Linode. Linode is the world's
Oh, those are ads. So let's rewind it. Okay, yeah, great. So mostly, as you can see, those YouTube videos are really short. And okay, that was not 2 minutes, but it's mostly really 2 minutes. As you can see, it's like 4 or 5 minutes mostly, and those are really good and very well visualized videos. I really like them. So let's see something else. Well, uh, what's really interesting here? Oh, that might be interesting.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2 Minute Papers with Károly Zsolnai Fehér.
I really like that he presents the paper. There's a link to ArXiv, I guess, somewhere. Yeah, it's not an archive, but that's the link to the guy from the Columbia that actually published the paper. And
Today,
then
I've got some fluids for you. Most hobby projects with fluid simulations involve the simulation of a piece of sloshing liquid in a virtual container. However, if you have a more elaborate project at hand, the story is not so simple anymore. This new paper elevates the quality and realism of these simulations through using mixture theory. Now, what is there to be mixed, you ask? Well, what mixture theory does for us is that it helps simulating how liquids interact with fabrics, including splashing, ringing, and more. These simulations have to take into account that the fabrics may absorb some of the liquids poured onto them and get saturated, how diffusion transports this liquid to nearby yarn strands.
Yeah, this is cool. I was just checking whether the streaming works well, but it seems fine. We're live for 5 minutes.
What you see here is a simulation with porous plastic where water flows off of, and also,
yeah, I love this visualization. So it's really, really great.
Through this on a piece of probably have really well. Now,
yeah, by the way, this is how I watch YouTube most of the time. So I'm really fast and I'm like rewinding every 10 seconds to see what's more interesting and try to memorize the most interesting things for me. So I hope it's not too chaotic. That's why I have to break from time to time and see what's going on. Yeah, so let's see.
Close to what would happen in reality. We don't just make a simulation and accept it as true to life if it looks good, right? Well, of course not. The paper also contains comparisons against real-world laboratory results to ensure the validity of these results, so make sure to have a look at it in the...
Yeah, so as you can see, like, his videos are really well prepared. Yeah, those visualizations are not coming from him. Most of the time they're like references in the upper left corner, but it's really amazing that he can put all of that things together, and it's really, really great. So a similar channel, let's go to a different one. So that was 2-minute papers. A similar channel, I think it's no more longer active, or maybe it is, but not really, not so often. Yeah, it's not really, it's ArXiv Insights. And the idea was also the same. So as you remember, maybe those for of you who don't know it, ArXiv refers to archive.org. That's a repository of scientific papers run by Cornell University, and it's right now widely used in scientific community, and also for all the people who want to publish their research. That's the first step, because people put their papers on ArXiv in order for other colleagues to see that, and you have all those bunch of domains that you can go to. So with computer science, you probably want to go to machine learning, or there are a couple of other things that you can also want to see. And those are the most recent papers, so they're coming from January 1st, 2020, and you just click on the paper, and then you have abstract. You can click on PDF file to see that, and all the papers are here, and there are literal like thousands of papers every day, all across different domains. So when you're just following one single domain, as I used to with Number Fiore, you get like from the couple to like a couple dozens number of papers, and that's manageable if you just want to skim through the abstract. So you have like AI when it comes to data science, computer vision, of course, and there are a couple of other things that might be interesting for you depending on your interest, so definitely have a look. So the idea behind ArXiv Insights is that again, we're looking at the papers from ArXiv and seeing what's really interesting about them. Yeah, again, OpenAI. Let's look at that video.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of ArXiv Insights. So last week there was a really cool event in the AI community. OpenAI 5, a system of 5 neural networks built by non-profit organization OpenAI, took on a team of 5 professional gamers in the very complicated game of Dota 2. So the match consisted of 3 games. The first 2 were normal draft games, giving each side equal chances of winning, and after relatively short game times, OpenAI 5 was able to convincingly beat Team Human.
It's trying to see if he can maybe set up for the referee matchup, and again, Bolt instantly gets hexed by the Lion.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is a much longer video right now. It's also about one of my favorite recent results of what OpenAI did. Meaning that they managed to beat Dota professionals by guiding the AI, guiding machine learning models to building very complex strategies on how to win the game, and that was really great. That was a great achievement in reinforcement learning. So those videos are much longer. As you can see, this is 18 minutes.
Opinions covering OpenAI 5. I mean, really, I've seen everything from Elon Musk's trash-talking Dota bots that spank top-tier humans, all the way to machine learning researchers that are claiming that this doesn't provide any useful knowledge for the community, since these bots are simply overfitting to an endless amount of training data. So because of all that, in this episode, I want to systematically dismantle the OpenAI 5 system, starting from a general overview of what this means for the progress of AI research, all the way to the specific implementation details and the compute resources that were used to train OpenAI 5. And then in part 2 of this episode...
By the way, if you don't know, you probably should check OpenAI website, openai.com. They're publishing their research often, so definitely subscribe to their social media, either Twitter, Facebook. I think they might have LinkedIn. I don't know. I'm just following them on Facebook and Twitter, I guess. And they have all the recent releases, so you'll be able to see what they're doing. This is the Rubik's Cube I've mentioned. There's more about, for example, this is the thing I like, the thing about GPT-2 and generating text. So this is the whole story about how they tested GPT-2 against like real-life users and what's coming out of that. And whether that's safe or not, different ethics behind it. They put the whole report also online. This is really great. Highly recommended if you're into text. Yeah, so GPT-2 is great. As I said, I love it. There are different examples you can find here written by GPT-2. That's really great. Yeah, so you can view the progress. They're usually based in San Francisco, California. So that's the thing. And they also have really great presentations. Another company you probably know but should follow in depth is DeepMind. That's the London counterpart of OpenAI. I don't know actually what's the status, like what's the view between OpenAI and DeepMind, whether there's like rivalry or something, but they also doing pretty much similar stuff. And so for example, DeepMind beat the game of Go. That's the most well-known project they did, but also they have many more impressive projects, starting with Atari games and going to other reinforcement learning applications, either in healthcare or optimizing cloud computing. So it's really great. And also they're running both blog and research, and you can see all the recent research they did on the website. So that's really great. So yeah. Let's have a look. I thought that's, yeah, WaveNet is all about generating sounds. AlphaStar, yeah, that's the StarCraft. So Go on steroids. It's something even harder. And by the way, probably the next level of playing games is doing mathematics. So if a machine learning algorithms can solve mathematical problems, that would be amazing. There has been some progress on that lately, but it's still far away from actually the research level. So as you can see, they're doing a bunch of various stuff, and it's really interesting. Like following that is really great for your knowledge. So that's both DeepMind and OpenAI. Let's get back to the paper, the video.
A different video, I will dive into all the technical details of the reinforcement learning algorithm behind OpenAI 5, which is called proximal policy optimization. I hope you're ready to dive in deep. My name is Xander, and welcome to ArXiv Insights.
Yeah, that's creepy sound. Oh, I didn't know.
So after the success of deep reinforcement learning in bench, a game like Dota 2 definitely Go, it was time to move on to even bigger problems. And a game like Dota 2 definitely has a lot of these. Now, to get a sense of why these games are so difficult for reinforcement learning, I really suggest to check out my video on sparse rewards in case you haven't seen it yet. So, one of the major challenges in a game like Dota is that an agent has to take thousands of actions, moving around by clicking the screen, casting abilities, buying items, and very often the payback or the reward for those actions only arrives much later in the game.
Yeah, let's see what happens later in a movie.
Yes, that is a lot of money for us individuals, but not if you're a world-class research organization that is backed.
He's probably talking about the fact that OpenAI just got like $1 billion from Microsoft, which is really amazing, and will allow the company to go even higher and further with AI. So just to remind you, the goal of both OpenAI and DeepMind is to actually produce artificial general intelligence. So that means a system, a set of algorithms, a framework which can do universal learning, which means it can learn in very specific domains and then transfer that kind of knowledge to other domains to learn about totally unrelated stuff in the very first trying. So if you think about it, like we humans can learn, for example, English or Chinese, and then go about playing golf, and maybe some of the lessons about the grammar can help us understand the rules of the game. And actually, that might be a fun example, but for example, the way you do mathematics really depends on your language to some extent. I know sometimes it's only just numbers, but when you go into the higher concepts, then there's a different way of thinking about concepts. And maybe some of those things can help you out. So this is pretty much unrelated, but then related in a way we probably don't understand, because as humans we are so complicated and complex that there are so many different domains, but they all overlap each other, and then we use all this knowledge in different examples. So that's why we're trying to do this kind of universal learning, and the outcome should be artificial general intelligence. So that's the goal of both OpenAI and DeepMind.
Data and compute resources, they can actually solve surprisingly complex problems. In fact, as we've similarly seen from the AlphaGo story, the engineering challenge of scaling these deep RL pipelines to massive scales seems to be equally important when compared to the algorithms that drive these systems. But on the other hand, I also think we should be very careful not to overstate these achievements in terms of AI progress. As François Collet, the creator of Keras, very accurately puts it in this tweet, any problem can be treated as a pattern recognition problem.
Okay, let's see what's next.
Engineering process.
Yeah.
Project is.
Yeah, so as you can see, he's explaining more in depth about the whole story about behind OpenAI, about the algorithms. It's really great. I think he really stopped doing videos, or he did just a couple of them. Yeah. He has 11 videos right now in total, so it's not really much, but definitely most of them are worth watching. And this is something similar to 2-minute paper, but here the YouTuber actually makes it very consistent. So that's really great. Another channel that I want to tell you about, and this is the channel done by Andrew Ng, Deep Learning AI. So that was founded by Andrew Ng. So if you don't know, Andrew Ng is one of the fathers of machine learning, deep learning, and definitely one of the biggest promoter of it. He's a Stanford professor who also founded at first Coursera. So if you don't know Coursera, Coursera.org, that's a website for all the massive courses you can take online. Those courses are free mostly, but you have to pay if you want to have a certification, which is sometimes useful if you're just starting with data science or machine learning and you haven't been to any university which can give you like a master or a bachelor in, I don't know, like computer science or mathematics. Then probably you need some kind of certification to start your professional career in data science. And Coursera is all about learning from world-class experts. So you have here Andrew Ng on the photo, and there are really almost 4,000 courses, many certificates, many tracks. It's not only about data science right now. You have also large choice from business. We can explore, and you can see like how many different subjects there are. You can even go to arts and humanities right now, but it all started with data science and computer science actually. So if you go there and let's see what's in data science, then you can see that courses here are really coming from the top-notch organizations and universities. Like for example, you have, I think one of the most popular right now is the course from IBM Data Science. But also you have courses from Deep Learning AI, and I will talk about that in a minute. Just wanted to show you the machine learning, the original course of Andrew Ng coming from Stanford. So that's a course about more mathematical aspects of machine learning. It's really great. Maybe it's not the best for the beginners, but the syllabus is really great. So yeah, let's have a look at the syllabus. There were like almost like 8 million views already of this course, which is really a lot, because that's a that's a machine learning course in the end. So that's not something too easy, but it's very approachable, and it's you can find it for free. There are notes from that also available for free. And this is really great. So it starts slowly with linear algebra and it goes to regressions. Then you will have also regression, regularization, neural networks, and the course is really the top of the game when it comes to machine learning. So you have then advice for applying machine learning and different basic algorithms like SVMs, unsupervised learning, dimensionality reduction, anomaly detection, recommender systems. Yeah, so all that you need. So by the way, I have a course on YouTube also. Like I was trying to make the crash course in like 60 minutes of data science and just put everything in that. I don't know if that worked, but right now that's like the most viewed YouTube video on my channel. So probably that's okay. I'm happy about it. I'll be doing a little bit more of that. I definitely want to convey more of knowledge of data science and machine learning. So right now I'm testing this, kind of trying to share the longer form videos like the streaming and see how it goes. So this is about machine learning and this course. I wanted to talk more about Andrew Ng and deep learning. So then he founded also Deep Learning AI with the idea that we should convey the knowledge of AI to as many people as possible. And deep learning is all about sharing knowledge. So there are more courses, also courses available on Coursera, because if you start looking for deep learning, here it is, deep learning AI. Then they have the whole specialization. This at intermediate level, and there are many courses for that you can see. So this is about how the 5 courses in the specialization, and they are covering more advanced and advanced aspects of data science and machine learning. So you can see both, like starting with neural networks and deep learning, and going more into like joining different models, probably ensemble models, CNNs. Let's have a look at those two first before we go back to deep learning itself as a channel, because that channel is basically the promotional channel for the courses you can find on Coursera, which are more in depth. And of course on Coursera you will have more materials about that. You will have like homeworks, you will have notes, so that's really great. But you can see already something on the YouTube channel, and we'll see that in a minute. So let's look at the syllabus here. So again, it's introduction. And it's really nice that he has these interviews with top experts from AI, machine learning field, so Geoffrey Hinton, of course, and there are other people in those interviews. That's really great. So as you can see, some of the material overlaps with machine learning Stanford course, but it's only going much faster, and you quickly arrive at the most recent techniques. There are shallow neural networks, backpropagation, classification. Then we go into deep neural networks, so those with layers, at least 3 or 4 layers. We call those deep neural networks, deep learning. So those are. This is the very first the very first course in the specialization. So as you can see, this is already pretty advanced, neural networks and deep learning. And then if you go to the last course, it's about NLP. We can see the syllabus as well. We start with RNNs. And there are a couple of other techniques which are used for text processing. So that's really great. So let's go back to the deep learning YouTube channel and actually see some of the clips, some of the movies here, to see what's going on. It's always Andrew Ng here, as far as I can see. So maybe one-shot learning. So one-shot learning is about trying to learn from a single picture. So this is something which is natural for us humans, but this is something totally non-obvious for machines, meaning that, for example, you want to show one picture of a cat, and then the task is whether the machine can actually recognize cats on different photos. So this is extremely hard because normally you show like thousands and thousands of photos of cats and then only ask whether giving another photo whether that's a cat or not. So let's see what Andrew Ng has to say about one-shot learning in this video.
One of the challenges of face recognition is that you need to solve the one-shot learning problem. What that means is that for most face recognition applications, you need to be able to recognize a person given just one single image or given just one example of that person's face. And historically, deep learning algorithms don't work well if you have only one training example. Let's see an example of what this means and then talk about how to address this problem. Let's say you have a database of 4 pictures of employees in your organization. These are actually some of my colleagues at deeplearning.ai, Kian, Danielle, Eunice, and Tian. Now, let's say someone shows up at the office and they want to be led through the turnstile. What the system has to do is, despite ever having seen only one image of Danielle, to recognize that this is actually the same person. And in contrast, if it sees someone that's not in this database, then it should recognize that this is not any of the 4 persons in the database. So in the one-shot learning problem, you have to learn from just one example to recognize the person again. And you need this for most face recognition systems because
yeah, so as you can see, he has like very clear style of explanations, some photos, and then it's like with a blackboard, you have those different arrows, underlines. It's really great. The fact that also he presents the code material, at least in the Coursera courses. I don't know whether he will talk about here, but definitely he talks about mathematics and how it works. It's really great. Let's see to the end.
Because you might have only one picture of each of your employees or each of your team members in your employee database. So one approach you could try is to input the image of the person, feed it to a convnet, and have it output a label Y using a softmax unit with 4 outputs or maybe 5 outputs corresponding to each of these 4 persons or none of the above. So that would be 5 outputs in the softmax. But this really doesn't work well because if you have such a small training set, it's really not enough to train a robust neural network for this task. And also, what if a new person joins your team? So now you have 5 persons you need to recognize. So there should now be 6 outputs. Do you have to retrain the convnet every time? That just doesn't seem like a good approach. So to carry out face recognition, to carry out one-shot learning, so instead, to make this work, what you're going to do instead is learn a similarity function. In particular, you want a neural network to learn a function which is going to denote D, which inputs 2 images and it outputs the degree of difference between the 2 images. So if the 2 images are of the same person, you want this to output a small number. And if the 2 images are of 2 very different people, you want it to output a large number. So during recognition time, if the degree of difference between them is less than some threshold called tau, which is a parameter, a hyperparameter, then you would predict that these 2 pictures are of the same person, and if it's greater than tau, you would predict that these are different persons. And so this is how you address the face verification problem. To use this for a recognition task, what you do is, given this new picture, you would use this function D to compare these 2 images, and maybe it'll output a very large number, let's say 10 for this example. And then you compare this with the second image in your database, and because these 2 are the same person, hopefully you'll output a very small number. And then you do this for the other images in your database, and so on. And based on this, you would figure out that this is actually that person, which is Danielle. And in contrast, if someone not in your database shows up, as you use the function D to make all of these pairwise comparisons, hopefully D will output a very large number for all 4 pairwise comparisons, and then you say that this is not any one of the 4 persons in the database. Notice how this allows you to solve the one-shot learning problem. So long as you can learn this function D, which inputs a pair of images and tells you basically if they're the same person or different persons, then if you have someone new join your team, you can add a 5th person to your database and it just works fine. So you've seen how learning this function D, which inputs 2 images, allows you to address the one-shot learning problem. In the next video, let's take a look at how you can actually train a neural network to learn this function D.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is like, from the editing standpoint, this is really very simple, but also very, it's nice to show like everything, because he just works with his computer, and then I guess he has like an iPad with a pen, and he can just draw on that. So it's really like a blackboard. I want to do something similar. I already tried to do one video with a blackboard. I think that's perfect, because especially coming from academia, like Andrew NG, I know how pleasant it is to write on a blackboard and be able to show different stuff on the blackboard. So actually, yeah, so this episode about one-shot learning was part of the whole course, I think. It's C4V4L2, which is probably, that's a good question, which course it is. But as you can see, there are like different series going on in here. And probably some of those or most of those are pretty independent from each other. So he just assumes that you have the basic knowledge, and then you can go from there. And it's really great. So yeah, we're coming here to. There are also like different, very general remarks, like how you should improve model performance, and then labeling data. There's many different things about that. That's also the same case for machine learning course at Stanford by him, is that he also gives you general tips about how you can make your models better, on like how in general, like not about particular model, but that kind of advice applies to any kind of models. So yeah, vectorizing logistic regression. So that was the part of the first course, I guess. Okay, so C3 is probably course 3. Yeah. So it might be parts taken from his Coursera course. I don't know whether it's complete or not. Yeah, but there are many videos here coming from 2 years ago, because that was the course. And probably the most recent ones, as we can see, are more about interviews with other people. So the last ones were recorded 3 months ago. And you can see that this is a presentation at Remars, the Amazon meeting conference, and there are a couple other interviews with other AI influencers or AI people. Yeah, so that's great. So let's go and let's continue. Or maybe, when we come talking about the courses, I want to mention a couple of sources. So apart from the Coursera, the original first massive online course was done by MIT, who decided to make it public, make it open, make it free, and it's still there. ocw.mit.edu. You can find a platform to find the courses from MIT for free. So if you start searching for data science, let's do that. Yeah. So probably that's not the most efficient way to look for it, because you can already see that you have 11,000 results about that. So probably you want to have another way to looking for that is probably by Googling data science or finding your favorite professor and looking at that. But the thing is that you can find all the courses here. That's really great. Then Harvard started doing something similar. Let's see whether I can find Harvard MOC courses. Yeah, free online Harvard. Yeah, online courses. that should be it. Also, you can find some of them at EDX platform. So if you go to probably computer science or data science, yep, that's for the. Yeah, they also giving you the link to, I guess. Yeah, that's more about computer science. Let's go to data science and see what's there. Yeah, so that's data science, it's trading, statistics and R. Okay, let's go for this is free, and then you have to pay a couple $1,000 for those ones. Let's go for the free one and see what's there. I guess they're taking you to the EDX. Yeah, you can take the course on EDX. Yeah, course description. To become an expert data scientist, you need practice and experience. By completing this capstone project, you will get an opportunity to apply the knowledge and skills in R data analysis that you have gained throughout the series. This final project will test your skills in data visualization, probability, inference, and modeling, data wrangling, data organization, regression, and machine learning. Unlike the rest of our professional certificate program in data science, in this course you will receive much less guidance from the instructors. When you complete the project, you will have a data product to show off to potential employers or the educational programs, a strong indicator of your expertise in the field of data science. Yep, that's really great idea. Difficulty introductory, so you can start yourself anytime. Yeah, so this is another great source for courses, but there's a website for free courses in data science in Harvard. If you start free Harvard data science course, Google is your best friend after all. I think you have a list somewhere about yeah, there's courses from on EDX. Probably you can find some of them and see which are free, which are not. So that's EDX is like Coursera basically. It's a platform for having courses from top-notch organizations. So apart from that, you have a couple of other providers of courses. Let me mention 3 of them. There are Udacity, Udemy, and Edureka. So the difference between them is that, so maybe there are actually, so first of all, those are 2 different categories. So first of all, Udacity and Edureka are similar in the sense that they give you their own courses, but they only have like a longer presentations. They do not collaborate with outside organizations like IBM, Microsoft, or universities like MIT, Harvard. They have their own programs, and they have this nano degree. So that's supposed to be like a small, short, kind of like master, but in a couple of weeks. Which should be also very practical and teach you skills about data science, programming, cloud computing. This is about Udacity. So if you go to School of Data Science in Udacity, this is what you will learn. So build expertise in data manipulation, visualization, predictive analytics, machine learning, and data science. With the skills you learn in nano, that went away. Maybe I have with the skills you learn in the nano degree program, you can launch or advance a successful data career, start acquiring valuable skills right away, create a project portfolio to demonstrate your abilities, and get support from mentors, peers, and experts in the field. We offer 5 unique programs to support your career goals in data science field. And here we go. So you have a couple of nano degree programs, data streaming, data analyst, data visualization, predictive analytics for business. So probably we want to go for data analyst if we're more about data science, machine learning. Yeah, Python, SQL, statistics to uncover insights, communicate critical findings, and create data-driven solutions. Okay, so that's for months, 10 hours a week. You can enroll by December 25, so it's too late, sorry. But they have a collaboration with Kaggle and MySQL. And then you have what you will learn. So let's see that here. They are really practical, like a bunch of statistics and how to use Python to process data. Yeah, that looks great. So a similar idea is that you can use Edureka like that. can't be reached. Okay, let's see again. Can I find Edureka? But the basic idea behind Edureka Co actually .com. That was my bad. Yeah, let's see that. Edureka. Yes, this course, for example. Yeah, we go straight to the course, Python programming. So edureka.co, that's another platform like Udacity, which gives you certification, nano degrees, and they want to give you like a small master in one of those domains. You have to pay for the courses. I think it's only, you probably have some like, I think like free trial perhaps. Let's see the description. So this is more about what's inside. It's similar stuff. It's everywhere similar. So you learned NumPy, pandas, visualization. You probably can see what's inside. Yeah, matplotlib. Yeah, so that's really great. So I mean, the best advice ever you can get in data science is just be practical and start coding yourself, so you can learn how to code and how to use everything. Yeah, so that's the best. So you probably should go to GitHub, and so that's the best repository for every kind of material, because you can actually find code on GitHub on free, and you can just look for repositories. So talking about that, before we go back to Udemy, or maybe, okay, I finish with Udemy and all the courses, and then we go about learning. So that was Edureka and Udacity. Let me close everything here. I don't want to have everything opened. So MIT, go away. And here we go. So, okay, Udemy is the last one. So the difference with Udemy is that you can host your own courses. So I gave it a try, I gave it a shot. I made course myself and put it in Udemy. So that was a test. It's there if you want to check it. So basically is that anyone can upload the course if it's good, it's verified by the team, and then it's online. So the prices are much lower than everywhere else, but also you don't have any kind of organization standing behind most of those courses. You directly take the courses from experts, from people who want to share the knowledge with you. So that's the Udemy, and then let's go to GitHub and Papers with Code. So actually, GitHub itself is just a repository. So for example, those are probably the recent repository I visited. So I wanted to learn about how to create Instagram bots. So I visited, for example, this InstaPy. That was the recent repository I started testing. Yeah, so that was interesting. But actually, if you want to discover what's on GitHub, one of the best way to do that is going to Papers with Code, and that's really great. So I talked about that in one of the videos, and here on Papers with Code you can see that what's going on. So you have the most recent research. So again, if I were to see, for example, like image recognition, or let's go for a reinforcement learning. Let's try something new this time. Can I? Okay, I will have to choose maybe multi-agent reinforcement learning. And then the whole idea is that you will be able to see papers, but also links to code on GitHub. So now, okay, there's only one paper, so you don't see any kind of comparison, but you can go on, this will be the only single result you have from that paper. If you click here, you go to GitHub, and yeah, you will be directed to GitHub, and you will have the code from that paper. So that's really fantastic. But what's really great is that you can see all the statistics, all the comparisons for all different papers. So for example, if I were to, so hierarchical reinforcement learning is probably not the most popular topic. It is popular, but it's just hard. So let's go for image recognition. That's probably the most well-known application and the very first one of deep learning. Probably I wanted to see image generation. classification. Let's see what I want to get to have all the. Okay, that's image generation. That's better. So again, if I go, so I have these leaderboards. I have the whole description of the subject. I have leaderboards of different papers, different algorithms, and different data sets. So now that's a great thing, because if I go, for example, for CFAR, I can already see the trend on a leaderboard on the left, but then if I click on that, I'd be able to see different results, and that's really fantastic, because what you can see right now is that you have all these different papers, all these different models, which are tested on this single data set, and they are all compared. They have all the same metrics, and they can be compared to each other, see which one is better, which are not. So you have the state-of-the-art methods, and this is this line, these broken lines actually. And then if you want to see what's going on, then you just go on with the code. Most of it has code. You have probably many implementations. This one is the more popular, so we go there, and here we go. We have it. We are on GitHub, and we can start using it right away. So we ended up with generative modeling by estimating gradients of the data distribution. That's really great. We have it on GitHub. So I really like it. I really like using that paper source code with that. So yeah. So once again, that's the website and the place to go for GitHub. Another way is, of course, Googling. And if you start Googling like whatever topic you are interested in plus GitHub, you probably find something. So I don't know, like if you start cat recognition and GitHub, then you probably get something interesting over there. Yeah, cat recognition app, train, cat facial detection. Yeah, let's see that. That's also the best way, because GitHub is really well searched through. It's really easy to search it through. Yeah, so we actually arrived at something meaningful, as you can see. Some kind of a model with cat facial detection. Actually, that's kind of fun. I might be able to test it later on. It's fun. Yeah, so you have the whole code. Like you can use it right away. Okay, built within a Docker, so even you can download it. Yeah, that's really great. So let's get back. Okay, so we made courses. We've went through courses. We're coming back to YouTube. We went for deep learning AI. Let's go to the next YouTube channel. I make myself another tea, and I let you watch some YouTube, perhaps. Of course, with me. So another guy that I like, and this is one of the most popular guy. He's almost 800,000 subscribers right now, is Sentdex. He's of course giving courses on different aspects of data science, but also he's been lately talking about quantum computing and how to use quantum computers. Yeah, and also he's like very different things about technology. So maybe let's test something first. What might be interesting? Okay, here's some kind of a course here. Oh yeah, and here's like something about using about self-driving cars. I guess I think it was his course, maybe not. Yeah, he was doing a course, a reinforcement experiment on how to use reinforcement learning in Grand Theft Auto, the game. That was really cool. He showed, yeah, that was him. So maybe let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's called Charles 2. That's the name of his bot. And basically, if you haven't played GTA, it's like you being a real life criminal and basically running around the city in cars and using that. So that's kind of fun.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to an update to the Python Plays series. In this video, I'm going to be going over just some of the updates that I've found with the object detection and kind of what I'm thinking moving forward. So this is one of the out-of-the-box Coco models. It detects cars, pedestrians, traffic lights, although there are really no traffic lights around here for me to show you. But it's pretty good. The problem is it still just doesn't detect as far, like the distance-wise. Potted plant over there in the corner. Doesn't quite detect out as far as I would like it to. And then also, like, see that car still not being picked up. Really, that car never got picked up until like the very, very end. And really all I want is cars and people to be picked up as good as possible. So probably going to wind up having to train my own custom model just because this one's not picking up people as quickly as I would like. So the plans for the on-foot model are to, play GTA in the way that one plays GTA. So he should be able to engage with the police here. And the way that we can do that is, when you find out, hey, where's the police, or whoever you want to engage with, you just find the center of the cube, or square rather, and that's how you engage. Now, same thing with stealing cars.
That's the sound of me making tea, so sorry for that. It will be there in a minute.
The way that we did it before, you would find the bounding box for the car, and then basically you would move the mouse to force the car to be basically center screen, run towards it, and then when you're close enough, press F to enter the car. That's what we had done before, and I think that's probably what I'm going to do again as far as like stealing cars is concerned. But I think it'd be cool to let the AI kind of do its own thing on foot rather than purely go for cars all the time. What did that say? I'm not sure what that was calling that yellow line. So with the models, all I really did was just let me see if I can get away here. Yeah, so this is the Grand Theft Auto object detector. Basically, we're just grabbing screen as usual. I do also have, so it's also, I can run them both at the same time. I just set the GPU fraction.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment that actually it's really showing why games are a great model for life, because with GTA you're really becoming close to real life. The physical model is probably not perfect, it's really simplified, but it's already something that, and it's really kind of like an inception moment that he's running basically real life detection within the game, and he's ready to like be able to spot the tree, spot the plant.
I keep clicking on this to to play. So I can unpause. And that's the other thing, is how do we get Charles to like walk around in the environment? So on the one hand, when he's in third person, he actually can walk around pretty well because he's just going to walk as if he was driving. So he should pretty much always walk along the roads, which should provide decent enough play. The problem is, generally, if you walk, the police are always going to appear behind you. So that's kind of awkward. So probably still going to have to figure out some way to engage.
Okay, let's see his other videos where he's talking about his GTA model or other stuff. Yeah, so the funny thing is that he was able to do the self-driving network and test it online, so tested it within the game. So this is like the lowering down the cost of actually training autonomous vehicles, because you can have you really need like thousands of hours in order to have really good self-driving car. And if you're able to test that car within the game, then actually you can make your computer play the game and really save a lot of money of people running around the city trying to film everything. So for example, in California, if you go to California, there are really many self-driving cars, but there are always people inside them on the road, sitting with their hands on laps and like just looking around. So that's really funny, but that's an actual cost to the company to do it. And if you're able to test everything within the game, not only you don't have those costs, but also you're able to do it much faster. So that's why what he's doing is fascinating. And of course, it's GTA, so it's also fascinating because that's really a fantastic game.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to Charles 2.0. If you're not familiar with the self-driving car project that we've been working on, basically, it started off with using OpenCV just to do like lane detection and stuff, and then graduated to doing deep learning and just seeing how far we could take this absurd project. So eventually, I got kind of burnt out on it. There was just so much expectation that this AI was going to somehow become like a really good self-driving car, and somehow like this one guy in his room on his home computer was going to outperform multi-billion-dollar companies at the same task. So anyway, I kind of slowed down on the development there, but recently I started to rethink the entire project and like, ouch, and upload to your Tesla now. And how I would revisit it today, because a lot of things have changed since I really worked on this project. One being just my own understanding of AI. I'm gonna probably have to help him out of this situation.
Yeah, so his car just hit the hit the road sign, I guess.
Get him out here real quick. My own understanding of AI and machine learning and training models and validating models, but then also just the field has changed quite a bit. So the original model, well, the last model he's just totally screwed at this point. Let me get him out of here. I'm just gonna teleport a couple of times. Let's do. Let's see.
Yeah, so, sometimes it doesn't work so well.
Trying to get back into like the city or something. There we go. It's a little more interesting, more things to avoid and less places to fall off. Although I'm not sure we're in the city. I guess we are. Anyway, so models have also changed. So we're screwed now. Oh, hopefully, let's see if he'll get himself out of this one. Nice. He actually did. I thought I was gonna have to save him. So models have changed. Let's try to talk about the changed models now. Keep driving, Charles. So the last model was Inception v3, which is actually kind of an old model now. There's Inception v4 and ResNet and MobileNet, and currently we're running Xception, which seems to be pretty good. But some of the other major mistakes that I had made are like, so with like validation data, for example.
Yeah, I really like this video because not only I love GTA, but also I love self-driving cars, I love the autonomous vehicles and the whole machinery behind it. It's really great because you have to take everything there is when it comes to both reinforcement learning, then different stuff for all the object detection and reacting to that. So that's really great. So maybe I can show you the video about actually Tesla going autonomous. That's a great movie, which also shows what he's doing, but in real life. And Tesla is amazing. Well, Elon Musk is amazing, and what he's doing is amazing. So let's see. Yeah, I have a bunch of videos. So Tesla self-driving, should be able to find it and show you in probably in city. Yeah, that was a great, like really great movie. Yep, that might be it actually. There are a couple of movies. The short one. Yeah, this one of them, and this is really great. As you can see, the driver is having his hands on the laps, and he's just enjoying the ride. And especially with Tesla, with you have this glass windows through which you can see everything, and it's really great. So now we're driving on an American highway, and basically you see how crowded it is, but also very efficient. Like they're moving pretty fast. Yeah, it's amazing that how it takes every right turn and is able to navigate within the city. Not only within the city, but on a highway with all those different roads going on and off. Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, so if I remember correctly, he's driving to the Tesla headquarters. Yeah, that was a great moment where it waited at the crossroad and just for the other cars to pass. Okay, we're more in the suburban area right now. Look how it waits at every stop sign. Okay, we have arrived at Tesla, I think. Tesla headquarters, and that's now an amazing part. So the driver is getting out, and I think he leaves the car, and the car itself is just driving to the driving spot. Oh, that was the driving spot. Okay, so that was another video. So anyway, that was really great. And if you compare that to what's happening here in GTA, that's somehow similar, but the guy did it himself. It's within the game, so the physics is a little bit easier, but that shows the way why games are so important for AI research and why people care about doing something better in games.
the way I had been doing validation data was I pulled, like I would shuffle the data and then I pulled randomly data out of that shuffle data and called that validation data. Well, the problem is this is inherently like sequential types of data. So when you shuffle and then pull randomly, your validation data is going to very closely match in sample data. So any overfitment is going to kind of pour over into your out of sample. Are we? Oh no, we're not wanted right now. So one of the things about this model is, one, he knows how to reverse like he just did, and he also goes between cars and stuff, which is super cool. Polls will still screw him every time. He just can't figure polls out. So I'm fixing him at the moment. While we're at it, let's see. Let's change. Let's go forward in some time here, and let me remove the waypoint. Let's see how he does with that. Because the other model.
So we just crossed 1 hour and we're going much more. So I plan to do it maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. Let's see how it goes. I mean, until I get tired and I just run out of all the YouTube channels that I can watch together with you about data science, then I will be doing that. But I guess there will be plenty of material still to watch. Yeah, because YouTube right now is at this great spot where you can find almost anything, and it becomes part of like the second Google. I mean, I often do myself search on YouTube instead of Googling something because I want to have a video material instead of a text, and YouTube is great for that. So even with machine learning and data science, you can just Google that online.
Model was really, really bad at if it didn't have the GPS route. See how he does that.
Yeah, so he's talking about his model. Let's see what's going on.
You can talk with, do this, or figure out the commands with commands. But
okay, that was he was twitching it. So we're also doing kind of inception because he's streaming his Twitch and then I'm streaming my stream of him streaming. So you know, like this is kind of inception. This is crazy.
Sure,
but hey, really in the end we are in 2020, so anything goes.
Expect him to do anything else. Ooh. We might get a water chart.
Yes, I guess he's playing with this. Probably you have already enough of GTA. Let's see something else. What he's doing. Yeah, so quantum computers are something totally different. Maybe okay, he's something. Do I want to? Yeah, let's see what he's saying about quantum computing for a bit.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a quantum computer programming tutorial series. Right out of the gate, I just want to stress I am not a quantum physicist. I know a little bit about things, but I am just not an expert on quantum stuff. A little bit of understanding of my bit is in your classical and a regular bit. Now, what happens when we have these two characteristics? I think we're there now, and also at. Let's just jump all.
Okay, so that's a lecture. I don't know if he's actually. Yeah, he's programming in the end.
Because well, actually, it's not IPython,
yeah,
but
it's a Jupyter Lab.
Probably. Anyway, 0, 1 or.
Okay, so he's running
0,
some basic quantum circuits.
But then when you're actually ready
right.
to do your true research, you want to see what the actual answer is. Let's run that one more time.
Yeah, so that's really great that he's like, you know, like very practical and has his code on that. So that's what I really liked about his channel. Let's see more actually. So let's do something about neural networks. Okay, probably the last one was from the week ago. Yeah, it seems like he's publishing once a week. So that's a great.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a tutorial / showcasing of the Keras Tuner package. So one of the most common questions I get on deep learning tutorials and content in general is people asking, how did you know to do n number of layers, or why n neurons, or why did you do dropout, why did that degree, why batch norm, all these things. Like,
that's
why
important.
Did you do that? And the answer to that question has always been trial and error. And anybody who tries to tell you that they knew what model neural network was going to work is a dirty liar. It's trial and error. Now, of course, there are some tasks like MNIST, for example. A paper bag could solve MNIST to 90% accuracy or more. So obviously, there are some problems that are just so simple any network will do. And then there's some.
Yeah, so Keras is this great framework for machine learning together with TensorFlow and PyTorch. So maybe let's go to that quickly. If you don't know that, then of course there are tutorials online. This is something you can download directly within the Python, within the terminal command line. So let's have a look at that. Starting with Keras, which is probably my favorite, which is the most intuitive, the Python deep learning library. This was created by François Chollet, and it's really great. There's a really great book called Deep Learning with Python. It's about the book. It was written by François Chollet, exactly, so the creator of Keras, and it's really great. It's really easy to start with Keras, 30 seconds to Keras. Actually, yeah, you can probably take like a couple of minutes and get your first model trained in Keras. If you haven't done that already. For example, if you were to Google like MNIST Keras, then you already get results about how to use Keras to classify MNIST. So because the data set is already within the framework, within Keras, and then you can start training on MNIST, so you get to classify the images, and it's really great. It's also really simple to start, and then the way you put layers on each other, it's also very intuitive, and it's really easy to start and create more complex neural networks. So that's great. So that's one framework. Another one which is a little bit more complicated, I guess it got simplified a little bit because there was TensorFlow 2.0 which arrived recently, and I haven't done much with it lately, but I have to try. I'm using mostly Keras. So, but TensorFlow 2.0 seems really great. This is basically run by Google. It has also great documentation. You can do all the basic stuffs here and very advanced stuff as well. TensorFlow is a little bit more complicated because you will have to get used to kind of the framework that is dealing with tensor with every time. So you have initiate different variables, initiate the whole TensorFlow process. And then the last one, we have the thing done by Facebook, the called PyTorch. That's also a deep learning library specifically for running more advanced machine learning frameworks. Also open source, also available for free. So the same principles go. I know many people who loves actually PyTorch over TensorFlow and Keras. I had almost no experience with PyTorch, apart probably for running a couple of models about, I guess that was a model done by NVIDIA on image generation. I think that was written in PyTorch, and then I had to do something with it. But apart from that, I'm mostly running experiments in Keras. So that's PyTorch, and there's also other frameworks that I had like absolutely no experience with. Like I think Uber has a machine learning framework. There might be a lot machine learning platform. Let's Google that because I vaguely Michelangelo. That's the Uber's machine learning platform. I don't know. So people at Uber probably using that, but I don't know anybody else doing that right now. Though it will be interesting. Like that already is public for 2 years, but I haven't seen any kind of a use so far in a recent paper. So that would be interesting. There are other machine learning frameworks. Theano was one of the biggest ones, but actually I think it got deactivated because of other frameworks. So if you go for like Theano Python, it's like history right now, I guess. It stopped. Oh, maybe it is. Okay, January this year, yeah, but it doesn't. You probably don't want to use it anymore. It used to be big, but with Keras, TensorFlow, and PyTorch right now dominating Python community, Theano is probably not really active anymore. So those are a couple of frameworks that you have to know in order to do data science. All those are great. So I just wanted to mention them as we go along the way. Let's get back to Sentdex. So he was talking about optimizing Keras and talking about tuner.
of neural networks that will solve most problems, like especially like image problems, stuff like that. But for real world problems that aren't solved yet, the solution is trial and error. And this has historically involved me writing for loops to solve it. And then in that for loop, I just tweak things. And then I run that overnight, and then I save like validation accuracy or loss or both. And then in the morning, I just see, okay, these are the attributes, like 3 layers at 64 nodes per layer. It seems to be the thing. And then, now I'll test with batch norm, because every time you change one little thing, like dropout or not, 50%, 20%, 10%, batch norm or not, and all those things, you got to keep testing. So anyway, it's historically just been ugly for loops, to be honest with you. But recently I came across the Keras tuner package, which...
Yeah, so the video is about the optimization, how to guess the correct size of the number of layers. So that's a very common problem.
We have it in this too.
I really like that he's sharing his screen programming on the screen. That's really great. I'm not that fast with programming, so I'm happy to see someone who is that flexible. I usually take a lot of time to do some of the stuffs, but I'm more of the mathematician than a computer scientist, which means I love the theory, but practical side, well, I have to do it, but it's not my favorite. But yeah, everyone has to code, I guess, right now, and I really love it, but it just takes me time. So if you also need time to get to like good models and programming, don't worry about that. That's like very natural, and it just takes time to become accustomed to Python programming or anything else. That's what it is. It takes experience. You have to exercise in order to understand something, and that's like a very common thing to do.
Me to like write out this entire model for you guys, it would just be a waste of time. So I'm actually just going to copy and paste. I'll either copy and paste this into the description, or I'll put a gist.
Oh, so fashion NIST is similar actually data set to NIST, but it doesn't take handwritten digits. It's taking t-shirts and shirts and like different skirts and different kind of accessory from fashion to recognize from pictures. So that's like similar. Fun fact.
Or you can just go to the text-based version of the tutorial. But this should all be, except for this HP here, this should all be totally understandable by you guys. There should be nothing here that is like, whoa, what's that? So,
yeah, as you can see, this is a model built in Keras, which starts with sequential here, and it is really easy to understand in the end if you know a little bit, because you have these different layers of convolutions, max pooling, the activation is written out, you have how many different gates, how many neurons you have at each layer. So this is really great in the sense of how readable the whole code is, and actually in the end you have just the optimizer that you use, the loss function that you have, the metrics what you're measuring, and that's it. That's the model, and you have to just train it on your data set.
And then, so hyperparameter, or this HP stands for hyperparameters, which is what we're going to use to go through. This is a comment that I made for the actual tutorial. So this just creates our model object, returns the model. Pretty simple. So from here, you could define the model and do a .fit, for example. So the other thing that we need to do is import. So let's go ahead and from TensorFlow, or actually from TensorFlow, we're going to import Keras. Then we need to import all that layer information. So from TensorFlow.keras.layers, import all of these basically. We're going to need every single one. So dense, actually we're not using dropout, but conv2d, yes. What else we got? We got activation, we've got a flatten, and we've got some max pooling. Cool, done. Ran over my face a little bit. Again, there is the text-based version of the tutorial. And again, I'm really just trying to run through this. There shouldn't really be anything confusing to anybody here. So once we have this, real simply, we can test this. I just want to make sure it works. So I'm going to say model equals, what do we call that? Build model, yeah. So then from here, we should be able to say like model.fit. Yet again, cool thing from Kite is like this entire snippet, boom, done for you. And then you can kind of tab through it. So for example, batch size, let's go with 64.
Wow, that was really amazing, Dad. how it really gives you the prediction of what you want to write. I didn't know that actually. Probably this is Kite. Okay, I will Google that later on. But yeah, Kite AI. Kite AI autocomplete for Python download. Yeah, so I just read about it recently that it's other program also that gives you this auto completion, but that was really amazing because yeah, who wants to write the whole thing when you actually can have the machine suggest to you what you want to write, right?
Epochs, so then again, I'm just tabbing through that, which is pretty cool. Validation data is going to be a tuple of information. In this case, what were we going to do? We're going to say X train, Y train. So X train, or X test rather. Oh, it tabbed me over. X test, Y test. And then actually in this case, I don't care about verbose. I had it there because I was building this tutorial in a notebook first. So, okay, so then we can do that. Oh, we need to have our X data. So X train, and then this will be our Y train. And we need to reshape the data before it complains to us. X train equals X train dot reshape, and it's -1, 28, 1. Again, if this is confusing to you, I strongly encourage you to go back to one of the deep learning playlists. Okay, so that should all work. I do want to test it real quick to make sure it works before we get into the actual tuning aspect of things. So I'm going to save, run that again. Please work. Oh, it's because we have that HP there. Let me just move it real quick. Put this back. Please work. Whoa. Okay, so it's training. We can actually see it's already working.
Okay, that's really great. Let's see how it trains.
77%, not much.
Yep.
Actually, not that accurate. Like 77%, not much. But whatever you got, I can just tell you it's not above 90%. Okay. So
yeah, so it's great. It's really like he's using the code on the screen. Fun. I definitely going to watch that also later on. This actually.
Dang it! From 1 to 4, and since we want the step size
his
to be
other
1.
videos. So yeah, there's a lot of videos about him training the Charlie, so the autonomous car for GTA. But there are also other videos which are really great. A little bit about reinforcement learning. Oh, that's fun. Elon Musk TTS, so text to speech. That's fun. General advice while I use standing desk. Yeah, he has many videos, and I guess he's publishing from. Let's see, what's the oldest? Like yeah, a lot of small courses, how to learn Python. So that's really great. I think he's very clear in what he's explaining, and the way he presents the code on the screen, and you can see everything. That's really great. So you probably should subscribe to him right away because he's great for all the materials you can see on the web. His perspective is definitely great to learn. Yeah, maybe let's see what's his oldest movie first and start from that. Whoop, and here we go. Okay, 6 years ago, and he started with courses about Python, some very basic ones, and some writes about that. Okay, so I imagine he likes driving. Yeah, PHP tutorials. Nice. Yeah, so he was really working a lot the past 6 years on YouTube, and that's really great. So Sentdex, highly recommended. Let's go next to the 2 other YouTube channels that I wanted to recommend to you. The other one is Data School. It's also pretty big. It has 120 subscribers, and it focuses on data science. So let's see the videos of some of them. Most of them are quite long or longish. It's not anymore like 2 minutes paper, like a 2-minute paper channel. This is much longer. let's see one of them. Yeah, they have like very consistent, I would say boring thumbnails, but very instructional. Like you know what to expect already from the thumbnail. Yeah, so let's see one of them. So what is pandas? That's a basic one, Python library.
Hello and welcome to my brand new Q&A video series about the pandas library in Python. My name is Kevin Markham and I'm the founder of Data School. So here are the 4 things I'm going to cover in this video. Thing number 1, who is this video series for? Number 2, what is pandas? Number 3, how can you get pandas? And number 4, what should you expect from this video series? So, number 1, who is this video series for? This series is for Python users who want to work with data and use a powerful and efficient tool for doing so.
Yeah, so pandas is great. That's a great tool. Also NumPy and others. Yeah. So let's see his style. So he's mostly explaining about pandas, how to install that.
Number 3, easiest way to get pandas is by downloading the Anaconda distribution of Python, which includes pandas and a lot of other tools.
Okay, let's see something else. What he has here. Okay, so he started 5 years ago. That was one of the oldest. So let's see one of the newest. Okay, so he's still talking about pandas. So that's from 5 months ago. Yeah, let's see this one.
Hey everyone, this is Kevin from Data School. Today you're going to learn my top 25 pandas tricks. These are the best tricks I've learned from 5 years of teaching pandas. These tricks will help you to work faster, write better code, and impress your friends. Here's everything you're going to learn. There's also a bonus at the end of this video that you're not going to want to miss. Now, before we start, I'm going to import pandas and NumPy. I'm also going to read in some data sets that we'll use as of pandas.
Okay,
dependency are the column names, and the dictionary values are lists of column values. Now, if you need a much larger data frame, the above method will require way too much type. Country is now on the right side.
Okay, so this is like really introductory lecture into pandas. That's fine.
Miles column-wise. Or Western, we could use multiple conditions separated.
Let's see something else. So that's okay. Categorical features, scikit-learn. That sounds great. Let's see that.
It would be great if you could use scalar and one-hot encoder as part of the tutorial as well. This is a great question. So what is the point of pipeline? The point of pipeline is to chain steps together sequentially. Normally, you put pre-processing steps and model building steps in a pipeline. Now, why should you build a pipeline? There are 2 main reasons, and these reasons will become more clear.
Let's see what happens
I have a
next.
data frame,
Okay.
and you can
He's importing pandas.
follow along if you like. That is
Opening
URL
the
you can
CSV file.
read from. This is a data,
Let's see what
and
happens
you'll see
next.
in a second what I mean. Okay, so that is my data frame. I'm going to overwrite. Super important. Also, you can read the document.
Okay, so it's about data analysis and how he's opening the
pandas calls it.
CSV file.
We are instead going.
Okay, that sounds fun. Okay, and there's his lecture from PyCon. Let's see that as the end episode from him. But it seems like he's speaking very clearly about basic concepts in Python. So if you're just starting out, if you're just a beginner, it seems like a fine way to start. Because on the other hand, Sentdex is definitely more advanced, doing faster things, and having a lot of fun doing that. Definitely, yeah. So let's have a look
Do
at
you
this.
find the Pandas library overwhelming? Have you been wondering how to write better, more efficient Pandas code, but you just don't know how to do it? I can help. My name is Kevin, and I'm the founder of Data School.
Okay, let's see the lecture. Okay, so it's okay.
Views per comment rather than comments per view. So those are just a couple lessons. I'm going to move on to the next exercise unless there are any final questions about this one. Okay. All right. So the next exercise is visualize the distribution of comments. Okay, and we're going to talk about this one for just a few minutes before I let you loose on this one. Let's just make a plot real quick with pandas. So we're going to do ted.comments.plot. All right, and here's what we get. What kind of plot is this? A line plot is correct. So what do the axes?
Okay, so it seems like his channel is really directed to beginners. It's really fun to watch if you want to learn at the steady, slow pace and not chaotic. Like very, like I definitely have a different style, and I couldn't learn because I need to have like all the chaotic things going on, and like couple of like right now you have like couple of YouTube videos. I tend to rewind everything and then try something new all the time. But he's really great. Like he's doing all about pandas, processing data, getting data. Yeah, it seems like pandas is definitely going for a long time, and pandas is really crucial if you want to analyze data. It's like the basic tool together with NumPy, of course. So let's see the last channel that I want to recommend to you, and then we'll probably get into googling some more channels because I'm also about doing a little bit of improvisation soon. So StatQuest, that's also quite a big channel. This guy is mostly about statistics, and statistics is crucial if you want to do data science because you want to learn the fundamentals, you want to learn the mathematics, algebra, in order to start doing machine learning. So yeah. Also, so let's see some of his videos. I think let's see how many he has. He's not posting that often, but there's definitely a lot of them anyway. So yeah, let's see the most recent one about XGBoost. To see what's his style and what's his stuff.
XGBoost. It's extreme and it's gradient boost. StatQuest. Hello, I'm Josh Starmer and welcome to StatQuest. Today we're going to talk about XGBoost Part 1. We're going to talk about
Okay, that looks fine already. Fun.
Boost trees and how they're used for regression. Note, this StatQuest assumes that you are already familiar with at least the main ideas of how gradient boost does regression. And you should be familiar with at least the main ideas.
I like his voice and the way of speaking. He's actually very non-monotonous and like it's a little bit like singing. Well, he sang in the beginning also. That's really fun.
Ideas behind regularization. If not, check out the quests. The links are in the description below. XGBoost is extreme. And that means it's a big machine learning algorithm with lots of parts. The good news is that each part is pretty simple and easy to understand, and we'll go through them one step at a time. Actually, I'm assuming that you are already familiar with gradient boost and regularization. So we'll start by learning about XGBoost's unique regression trees. Because this is a big topic, we'll spend 3 whole StatQuests on it. In this StatQuest,
okay, let's see what's next. But it's really great that he's doing these presentations and it's really easy to follow. this is also like, it's also found on YouTube, you know, like you have all those different people doing totally different things, and each one has different style. So we don't even see the who's behind the StatQuest, but we can hear his voice, Josh Starmer, I guess. Yeah, so let's see that.
Residuals in the leaf on the right. So we start with these two observations, and their average dosage is 22.5, which corresponds to this dotted green line.
Okay, let's see what he has also on the channel. Machine learning fundamentals, support vector machines. Yeah, so it seems also like it's directed at beginners. ROC, AOC. Yeah, there's more about, that's what I was talking in the beginning, there's more about statistics. So for example, the central limit theorem, that's one of the fundamental theorems in probability theory that you should know.
Even if you're not normal, the average is normal.
Yeah, that's really great.
Hello, I'm Josh Starmer and welcome to StatQuest. Today we're going to talk about the central limit theorem, and it's going to be clearly explained. Note, for this StatQuest to make any sense at all, you should be familiar with the normal distribution. If not, check out the normal distribution, clearly explained. It would also be helpful if you were familiar with the concept of sampling from a statistical distribution. If not, check out Sampling from a Statistical Distribution, clearly explained. The central limit theorem is the basis for a lot of statistics, and the good news is that it's a pretty simple concept. In this StatQuest, I'll explain what the central limit theorem is and why it's important. Like most things in statistics, I think the central limit theorem is easiest to understand if we look at some examples. So let's start with a uniform distribution. This one goes from 0 to 1. It's called the uniform distribution because there is an equal probability of selecting values between 0 and 1. The probabilities are all equal, and thus are uniform. We can collect 20 random samples.
Okay, let's see how he explains that. Yeah, it's really visual, like there's not much mathematical theory inside, but it's really great because if you're a data scientist and don't have any mathematical background, then probably you can grasp those concepts really quick. Yeah, so wow, that's actually quite exciting that he can explain the central limit theorem without any formulas at all. Like there's not a single formula during the whole video. Okay, that's impressive. I would be never able probably to do that. Yeah, so that's fun. Like he's really explaining all those important concepts very in a very basic way. That's really great. Let's see what he got, like PCA. That's also like a couple of episodes about PCA. That's the standard stuff. Matrices, again, normal distribution, that the thing he mentioned. TCNE for clustering. That's also the very standard technique. Let's see what he has here.
I'm drawing a graph. Doesn't it look cool? But I didn't know how it worked until I watched StatQuest.
Hello.
Okay, those music videos, those music intros are really great.
Hello, and welcome to StatQuest. StatQuest is brought to you by the friendly folks in the genetics department at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Today we're going to be talking about T-SNE, or TISNE. To be honest, I don't actually know how it's pronounced, but it's going to be clearly explained, I know that bit. Also, this StatQuest is by request, because of graph.
Okay. Yep, let's see what's inside. He's probably explaining the TSNE, so about the
Maps
clustering.
that access base.
Yep.
Does cluster
Projection. Okay. Yeah, that's really great. I like his style. I wouldn't watch it myself, but it's definitely good for beginners. So, oh, that's him. Let's for the ending. Let's watch him for a moment.
Hello, and welcome to a Stat Quickie on t-tests. I work in a large genetics lab, and people often ask me questions about t-tests. The first question they ask me is what type of t-test they should use. There are two main categories for t-tests, paired and unpaired. Paired t-tests.
Okay, that's fun. Yeah, so as you can see, we have went already through six different YouTube channels. So just a quick recap after this. It's almost 2 hours. Yeah, let's have a look at the statistics right now. I've been running this stream for almost like hour and a half already. We're probably going to hit 2 hours. I still plan to go on. So we started with 2-minute papers. I haven't probably given enough credits to this guy. He's really great. Let's watch some of his videos more. Then Archive Insights. That's a great channel. Very short one because you have all 11 videos and that's it. So you can watch it all actually. And yeah, it's more advanced, but they're all well made and you learn a lot. Then deep learning coming from Andrew NG and talking about different techniques in machine learning, deep learning, and also different interviews either with him or with other experts from AI community. Then Sentdex, I really like this guy. I like his style, that he's very quick. He's fun to watch. He's really great projects. Probably we can also view a video of two. Let's see what's most popular on his channel for later on. And then there are two people who are doing channels with more basic audience in mind. One is Data School about data processing, data wrangling, mostly with pandas, and the other one is StatQuest with Josh Starmer about statistics and how to use statistics to get sense out of the data. So I think those are two great sources. Yeah, maybe what I wanted to mention, I talked to you about all these papers with code and how great it is, about Keras, different frameworks. The source for the data that you always should remember is, of course, Kaggle.com. So Kaggle is this fantastic framework. There are different competitions going there. At the moment right now, you can compete with other data scientists, other teams, and it's really great. Not only because I won't be registering right now, but you can compete with others, and not only that, you can find different data sets. So, and that's the most important part, even if you don't want to take part in the competition. So you have right now 17 active competitions, so that's really big. And those are really fun things. Like, for example, NFL Big Data Bowl, so you have data from NFL, I guess, but there are also other challenges and pretty big ones. So for example, this one is about deepfake detection challenge, and the price is $1 million, so it's really something, and there are 800 teams taking part in that. Data Science Bowl. Yeah, there are definitely very, very interesting competitions going on right now. Titanic, house prices, that's a classic. ImageNet, predict future sales. And yeah, 352 completed competitions, so that's quite a lot. And if you will go to datasets, so you have both datasets and notebooks, you can also search for something which is interesting for you, and that's really, really great. So if you go to datasets, you can see everything that is available to you right now. So for example, US accidents, top Spotify songs, mock traffic data, college basketball, Magic Airbnb data. So this is really something that you can use for your own experiments, where you can learn, where you can use for any kind of projects, and it's really great. So for example, I have used some of those data to actually run interviews, data science interviews views with potential candidates. It's really great for that because you can give them a data and ask them to do something, and it's really also a great way to train. So yeah, so you have this data source and you can start using it. Here's a calendar, different kind of CSV files, and that's really great. Yeah, I wanted to show you also this deepfake detection challenge. So identify videos with facial or voice manipulations. Yeah, there are a couple of people. Okay, that's really amazing because you have AWS, Facebook, and Microsoft doing the collaboration to deepfake detection challenge. The goal of the challenge is to spur researchers around the world to build innovative new technologies that can help detect deepfakes and manipulate media. So something which is very important right now, especially with the rise of GANs, generative adversarial networks, and GPT-2, transformers, Grover, and all that kind of generative text models. This is really important. And also, if you have seen those different deepfakes about generating voice, faces, videos, this is really the right moment to do it. So let's read that. Deepfake techniques, which present realistic AI-generated videos of people doing and saying fictional things, have the potential to have a significant impact on how people determine the legitimacy of information presented online. This content generation and modification of technologies may affect the quality of public discourse and the safeguarding of human rights, especially given that deepfakes may be used maliciously as a source of misinformation, manipulation, harassment, and persuasion. Identifying manipulated media is a technically demanding and rapidly evolving challenge that requires collaborations across the entire tech industry and beyond. So that's why they have this partnership. And here the challenge participants must submit the code into a black box environment for testing. Participants will have the option to make the submission open or closed when accepting the prize. Open proposals will be eligible for challenge prizes as long as they abide by the open source licensing terms. Closed proposals will be proprietary and not be eligible to access the prizes. Regardless of which track is chosen, all submissions will be evaluated in the same way. Results will be shown on the leaderboard. Yeah, so that's really great and it's really important because we're entering this era of fake news and people can be misled by information found online, like we have learned in 2016 US elections, for example. So that's a really important challenge. So this is just only one example of what's going on. The price is pretty big, it's $1 million, but there are many more, both data sets, competitions, notebooks which are ready to use. Maybe yeah, let's have a look at notebooks also. So for the deepfake challenge, you had like 3 months to go, I guess. Here are the notebooks. Let's see what they have. Retail shop says data analysis. Oh, this is maybe not the one used very often. Let's see. Other one, which is on top of the list, DS Bowl, gentle introduction. Okay, so this is more about the explanation of where the whole challenge is coming from. Let's see, glimpse of that. Yeah, you should be able to access some of the data and see different glimpses, read data. Yeah. So this is the basic explanation in Python of what's going on within the code. Glimpses at the code, glimpses at the data to prepare for the challenge itself. So because this challenge is still in progress, we can't see everything. But in the end, when you get to the challenge which is already finished, you can see many interesting things. You have completed notebooks and you have basically the code to use. So that's really great. Yeah, so let's get back to some of the videos again, these papers with code. I want to have a look again at 2-minute papers and see some other stuff. Because this is really amazing. Oh, maybe you can see the deepfakes because we just see the deepfake challenge, so this is something relevant to that topic.
Dear fellow scholars, This is 2-Minute Papers with Károly Zsolnai Fehér. Recently, we have experienced an abundance of papers on facial reenactment in machine learning research. We talked about a technique by the name face-to-face back in 2016, approximately 300 videos ago. It was able to take a video of us and transfer our gestures to a target subject. This was kind of possible at the time with specialized depth cameras until face-to-face appeared and took the world by storm, as it was able to perform what you see here with a regular consumer camera. However, it only transferred gestures, so of course, scientists were quite excited about the possibility of transferring more than just that. But that would require solving so many more problems. For instance, if we wish to turn the head of the target subject, we may need to visualize regions that we haven't seen in these videos, which also requires an intuitive understanding of hair, the human face, and more. This is quite challenging. So, can this be really done? Well, have a look at this amazing new paper. You see here the left image. This is the source person. The video on the right is the target video, and our task is to
Oh, this is really great. This is really amazing.
Transfer not just the gestures, but the pose, gestures, and appearance of the face on the left to the video on the right. And this new method works like magic. Look, it not only works like magic, but pulls it off on a surprisingly large variety of cases, many of which I haven't expected at all. Now, hold on to your papers, because this technique was not trained on these subjects, which means that this is the first time it is seeing these people. It has been trained on plenty of people, but not these people. Now, before we look at this example, you are probably saying, well, the occlusions from the microphone will surely throw the algorithm off, right? Well, let's have a look. Nope, no issues at all. Absolutely amazing. Love it. So, how does this wizardry work exactly? Well, it requires careful coordination between no less than 4 neural networks, where each of which specializes for a different task. The first two is a reenactment generator that produces a first estimation of the reenacted face, and a segmentation generator network that creates this colorful image that shows which region in the image corresponds to which facial landmark. These two are then handed over to the third network, the inpainting generator, which fills the rest of the image, and since we have overlapping information, in comes the fourth blending generator to the rescue to combine all this information into our final image. The paper contains a detailed description of each of these networks, so make sure to have a look. And if you do, you will also find that there are plenty of comparisons against previous works. Of course, face-to-face is one of them, which was already amazing, and you can see how far we've come in only 3 years. Now,
I have to comment that. So yeah, this is really a great video, so let me... Great video. Thank you.
when we try to evaluate such a research work, we are curious as to how these individual puzzle pieces, in this case the generator networks, contribute to the final results. Are all of them really needed? What if we remove some of them? Well, this is a good paper, so we can find the answer in Table 2, where all of these components are tested in isolation. The downward and upward arrows show which measure is subject to minimization and maximization, and if we look at this column, it is quite clear that all of them indeed improve the situation and contribute to the final results. And remember, all this from just one image of the source person. Insanity. Thanks for watching and for your generous support, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, that was really amazing. Let's see something else also. He has different videos about DeepMind, painting. That will be also fun. So it's mostly about computer vision actually. some about reinforcement learning. Yeah, this again about transfer style guns and transferring dogs into cats, into lions, simulations. That's, yeah, gun painting is really great. Yeah, so let's have a look at that one at least for a moment. So it should be all about painting
Dear
with
fellow
guns.
scholars, this is 2-Minute Papers with Károly Zsolnai Fehér. This paper describes a new technique to visualize the inner workings of a generator neural network. This is a neural network that is able to create images for us. The key idea here is dissecting this neural network and looking for agreements between a set of neurons and concepts in the output image, such as trees, sky, clouds, and more. This means analyzing that these neurons are responsible for buildings to appear in the image, and those will generate clouds. Interestingly, such agreements can be found, which means way more than just creating visualizations like this, because it enables us to edit images without any artistic skills. And now, hold on to your papers. The editing part works by forcefully activating and deactivating these units and correspond to adding or removing these objects from an image. And look, this means that we can take an already existing image and ask this technique to remove trees from it, or perhaps add more, the same with domes, doors, and more. Wow, this is pretty cool, but you haven't seen the best part yet. Note that so far, the amount of control we have over the image is quite limited. And fortunately, we can take this further and select a region of the image where we wish to add something new. This is suddenly so much more granular and useful. The algorithm seems to understand that trees need to be rooted somewhere and not just appear from thin air. Most of the time anyway. Interestingly, it also understands that bricks don't really belong here, but if I add it to the side of the building, it continues in a way that is consistent with its appearance. Most of the time anyway. And of course, it is not perfect. Here you can see me struggling with this spaghetti monster floating in the air that used to be a tree, and it just refuses to be overwritten. And this is a very important lesson. Most research works are but a step in a 1,000-mile journey, and each of them tries to improve upon the previous paper. This means that a few more papers down the line, this will probably take place in HD, perhaps in real time, and with much higher quality. This work also builds on previous knowledge on generative adversarial networks, and whatever the follow-up papers will contain, they will build on knowledge.
Yeah, this is great. I really like this. Well, I like everything gun related and how you can generate videos, images, real life. Okay, so there's a paper about DeepMind Alpha Star. That's a longer one. I think I have watched it already. Yeah, there are more. Yeah, it's really great because I like the way he's like very focused. It's always very short. It's like very visual as well. It's really, really great. Oh, this one I played around with that as well. This NVIDIA for the removal of some parts, and then you have this inpainting technique when the algorithms try to guess what's inside.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2-Minute Papers with Károly Zsolnai Fehér. Ever had an experience when you shot an almost perfect photograph of, for instance, an amazing landscape, but unfortunately it was littered with unwanted objects? If only we had an algorithm that could perform image inpainting, in other words, delete a small part of an image and have it automatically filled in. So let's have a look at NVIDIA's AI-based solution.
Yeah, this is the same kind of technique he talked in the last video, and it's really great. It's really amazing how you can get like a new Adobe Photoshop basically thanks to deep learning.
On the left, you see the white regions that are given to the algorithm to correct, and on the right, you see the corrected images. So, it works amazingly well, but the question is, why? This is an established research field, so what new can an AI-based approach bring to the table? Well, traditional non-learning approaches either try to fill these holes in with other pixels from the same image that have similar neighborhoods, copy-paste something similar if you will, or they try to record the distribution of pixel colors and try to fill in something using that knowledge. And here comes the important part. None of these traditional approaches have an intuitive understanding of the contents of the image. And that is the main value proposition of the neural network-based learning techniques. This work also borrows from earlier artistic style transfer methods to make sure that not only the content, but the style of the inpainted regions also match the original image. It is also remarkable that this new method works with images that are devoid of symmetries and can also deal with cases where we cut out really crazy, irregularly shaped holes. Of course, like every good piece of research work, it has to be compared to previous algorithms. As you can see here, the quality of different techniques is measured against the reference output, and it is quite clear that this method produces more convincing results than its competitors. For reference, Patch Match is a landmark paper from almost future. In fact, in this very loving it. Also, did you know that you can get early access to each of these videos? If you are addicted to the series, have a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/2minutepapers, or just click the link in the video.
Yeah, that's really great. I like his style again, like this is really boxing games. Again, let's see what's his most popular video so far on the channel. It's always great to learn from the fellow YouTubers what they're doing, and it's really great, like he's picking the topics which are more visual, reinforcement learning with games or computer vision. This is something which you can show very easily on screen, and it makes for something really interesting. I guess it's much harder to do with like statistics, mathematics, but also the guy the StatQuest is really great for that. So I guess it's always possible, but those styles really differ. Okay, so OpenAI is the most popular realistic honey simulation. That's really interesting. Yeah, more about OpenAI. That's really great. Yeah, so let's see honey also. Like that's fun. But the play hide and seek, it's really fantastic. Like you should check the original videos by OpenAI on their website. It's amazing, like how algorithms are trying to learn the game and beat it.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2-Minute Papers with Károly Zsolnai Fehér. If we study the laws of fluid motion from physics and write a computer program that contains these laws, we can create wondrous fluid simulations like the ones you see here.
Wow.
The amount of detail we can simulate with these programs is increasing every year, not only due to the fact that hardware improves over time, but also the pace of progress in computer graphics research is truly remarkable. So, is there nothing else to do? Are we done with fluid simulation research? Oh no. No. For instance, fluid-solid interaction still remains a challenging footage with the honey and the dipper. It looks great. However, this still doesn't seem right to me. We are doing science here, so fortunately, we don't need to guess what seems and what doesn't seem right. This is my favorite part, because this is when we let reality be our judge and compare to what exactly happens in the real world. So, let's do that. Whoa! There's quite a bit of a difference, because in reality, the honey is able to support the dipper. One-way coupling, of course, cannot simulate this kind of back and forth interaction, and neither can weak two-way coupling pull this off. That it also gets honey.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So this has already 1 million views. Really, really great. Yeah, I really like his style. So again, ArXiv Insights, Deep Learning, Sentdex. Let's see whether he recommends anyone. I want to also see the recommendations on different channels. Maybe we Kurgesagt. I don't know this channel. Yeah, so Kurzgesagt means, well, in a nutshell. Kurz means short, gesagt, said.
Humans are apes with smartphones, living on a...
Okay. So that's not a data science channel, definitely, but that's quite interesting. Let's see other things. Yeah, I wonder whether maybe it's his channel, actually. So that's what he recommends. Let's see different recommendations. Tech with Team, Engineer Man, Code Bullet. This one is pretty big. So right now I'm trying to improvise and see different kind of channels that might or might not be related to data science. Let's see what's out there. Let's see also what deep learning AI recommends when it comes to channels. And here we go with our marathon. So we have 2 hours right now of running straight YouTube video. That's the longest I ever did. And we're still going with that. So let's see where it goes. Yeah. This is Stack with Team. 12-hour coding live stream. Okay. That's exactly when I was talking about doing live streams. That's pretty amazing actually. Okay, so let's see him coding for 12 hours. Maybe not 12 hours, but then.
Alright, I don't know if this is working. I've been having technical difficulties for the past 10 minutes. Trust me when I tell you guys I wanted this to work right at noon. I literally was talking for probably like 5 minutes.
By the way, if you have any questions, ask me on the chat. I'm happy to answer anything. Yeah, and let's see, 12 hours of coding. Maybe not 12 hours, but this is impressive. This is something I wanted to do as well. So something like a data science hackathon. And actually, this is something we can do live. So anybody can join in. It's all about just choosing a task to accomplish, and that'd be fantastic.
And just no one heard anything, so that's great. So I'm gonna have to repeat like everything I've just said. I need the chat to let me know if you guys can see me before I start going through the whole spiel again. Let me know. Now we can say.
Yeah.
Apologies about that, everyone. First of all, thank you guys for all staying in here. I wanted the stream to work right away. I don't know what the heck was going on. But let's start talking about what I'm actually going to be doing. I've already repeated this, so this is going to be great. Essentially, any information that you guys need is going to be in the stream description. Like, if you guys are asking questions like, where's the music? Where's the GitHub? It's in the description, so have a look there. This is the GitHub repository. What I'm going to be creating is an online multiplayer Pictionary game in Python. And, you know, this is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to doing this. I've done a few streams in the past that have done really well, and it's just been an awesome time all around. So hopefully you guys are sticking around for at least, you know, like 20, 30 minutes. You hop in and out. I'm going to be going for 12 hours. When I say no breaks, what I mean by that is, like, I'm not going to end the stream at any point in time. I am in my university, like, house right now. There's no one else here. It's a 6-person house, so I might, you know, be going in between rooms to grab a drink, go to the washroom, get some food throughout the stream. But if I leave, I'm coming back, so you guys know that. Alright, so before I kind of start going through my design document, which is here, talking about the process and how everything's going to work, I do need to quickly thank the 2 sponsors of this stream. The first sponsor we have is called Kite. Now, you guys might have heard of Kite before, but it's essentially the best AI autocomplete for Python. So it does...
Yeah, we actually heard about Kite in a video by Sentdex, I guess, when he showed how it autocompletes everything. So yeah, Kite is great.
It does those line of code completions for you, and it's just way better than any completion engine I've ever used. It's completely free. You can download it in the link in the description, and you get...
Yeah, let's see Kite, AI, Python. AI autocomplete and docs for Python. Yeah, that's fantastic. I need to, yeah, I have to use it. Yeah, that's really, really great. So let's get back to...
You guys will see me using this throughout the video. It has a lot of cool features. Got intelligent snippets. It has this Copilot window. It's awesome. It's free, and I'm really delighted to be able to share this with you because it's just an awesome company. I'm really happy to be working with them. Now, the next company that I need to talk about is Linode. Now, you guys know the string regions that work to run.
That's a little bit of ads.
This is my UML, and then let's actually get and start coding for 12 hours straight. So this is my UML class diagram for my server side. Now I'm actually going to start with programming the server side of this because in the previous time I did this, I had issues coding the client first because then I had to change everything later on. So we're going to start with the server. Excuse me. So essentially what I'm going to have on the server is just a few different ways of storing and representing information. I'm going to have the player class, the game class, round, chat, board, and then my main server thread. And I'll be going through and templating all these classes later so you can see what's going to happen. What are you guys saying in the chat here? Just have a quick look here. Thanks again to everyone. We have 195 people in here. That's actually ridiculous. Thank you guys all. Go hit the like button if you're in the chat right now. We only have 66 likes, and there's 200 people in the chat, so I'm hoping you guys can go down there and like it. Let's see what all these people are saying. Slow down, you're talking fast. Yeah, I tend to talk fast when I'm excited. I'm really happy to be doing this, so that's why I'm kind of speeding up. But, you know. Anyways, 12-hour coding equals 10 Red Bulls. Good point. I do have energy drinks. I'm going to try my best not to drink them because I find it get pretty jittery when I have a lot. And if any of you guys saw me in my 18-hour programming live stream, you would have seen that by, like, you know, hour 13, 14, the mind was not working as well as it usually does. Okay, let's keep moving here. I don't want to get...
Yeah, I think this is really great idea that you can go for 12-hour streaming. Okay, so I'm not at this stage yet, but let's see.
Needs a word,
I want to see him coding. Actually, this is like the most exciting part here.
Method called get word. So define get underscore word self, and this means we need a list of words. And you know maybe this will be our next task. Let's see what I'll add it to do here.
Okay, he's actually creating quite a.
Is just update one individual.
Okay. He's pretty fast, I guess. So I want to see
this
3 hours in.
Gets this.
I want to see the end result of what he's doing.
Another energy drink, because I'm starting to fall asleep here. We still have 3 hours.
Nice. 9 hours. Where's the game?
Or to be the same as the other one. Okay. So
There's something, I guess. Yeah, he probably showed the game at the end.
It needs to be smooth is the thing.
Okay.
It's not sending the updated board, it's receiving it on every end. That's the issue.
That's pretty amazing still. I don't know what the game is about, but still.
At least that works. That's speeding up a bit. I was going to say, you should...
Yeah, okay, that's a great... I really like him already. I mean, that's a crazy... I give him a sub right away. I mean, for 12 hours of coding, that's a great thing.
Only...
Let's see what he's doing. Okay, so it's like general advice for programmers, it's JavaScript. Okay, so it's like less data science, more about, okay, but maybe there's something machine learning explained. Okay, Python. So it's a more general programming channel, getting started with machine learning AI. That's great. AI plays. Okay, no, there's something. He's maybe not all in into data science and machine learning, but there's definitely something interesting going on here. Let's see other channels. Okay, so those two I might close for now. StatQ Data School. That I can close as well.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Corey, and I'd like...
So this is another channel about for software developers. Yeah, Python, but I guess he's less about data science, right? He's more about writing code, homebrew, Django. Okay, yeah. Definitely software developers. Let's see Django course and how it goes.
Hey there, how's it going everybody? In this series of videos, we're going to be learning how to build a full-featured web application using the Django framework and Python. So Django is a very popular framework that gives us a lot of functionality right out of the box and makes it really enjoyable to work with these web applications. So first, let me show you what we'll be building in this series of videos, and then we'll get started learning how to actually put all of this together. So this is the application that we'll be building here, and you can see that it's a blog style of an application where different users can write different posts. Now, this can be like blog post, or they can...
It's redirecting to Craigslist phone verification, so I definitely have the right call. So we'll go ahead and use that URL for the rest of this video. URL, code. Great. JSON. And add the building the code. I know I'm gonna need next. I need to
Okay.
open and parse the
That's
name.
pretty
So
fun. And let's see this code bullet. So that's the
Hey guys,
biggest
how's
one.
it going? I hope you guys had a good Christmas, and I know it's been
Yeah, almost 2 million subscribers. That's pretty big. Okay, it's a little bit about AI and learning how to play. So that's really fun. Let's see that. I mean, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to do some Flappy Bird action, and I know I am hardly the first person to do this on YouTube, and that's because it's kind of pretty easy. So today we're going to be doing this as a one-day challenge. I've got a day to make a fully functioning version of Flappy Bird and add the AI to learn how to play it. So the day before, I knew this was going to be a big day, and thus I set my alarm to wake me up bright and early at 6 a.m. The next morning, I jumped out of bed, ready to begin my day, and only pressed the snooze button 12 times. So yeah, it's like 8 a.m. now. That could have gone better probably. But I'm ready now. I just need to check YouTube for a while. It is my job after all. And oh my god, it's 10 o'clock. Okay, deep breaths. Okay, let's just get started. Okay, so let's just start off playing some Flappy Bird for a while so you get a feel of what we're doing. And as you can see, I'm really not fantastic at this game, but that is what my computer's for, so let's start coding. So to begin with, let's just get a circle on the screen which is affected by gravity. It's beautiful. Okay, so yeah, that's great and all, but we need that bird to fly. So when I hit spacebar, we need to apply a force pushing the bird upwards. This took some adjustments to get the flap just right, but I'm happy enough with the movement for now. Okay, let's start on the pipes. The pipes are just going to be rectangles which move from the right side of the screen to the left. Not nice. You'd think by now that I'd be capable of drawing rectangles to a screen. You'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. Okay, there we go. Now we just need to add some collision detection. Beautiful. Instead of dying, I just had the bird teleport to the top of the screen.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
Let's shang the pics in. We got background. We got this before, so of course.
Yeah, I give him a subscribe. This is really great. He hasn't posted much in the recent year, I guess, because it's like only 9 months and like a couple of videos. The last one being 1 month ago and then 5 months. Let's see the latest one.
Previously on AMC's The Walking Dead.
Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna stop you there. It's Code Bullet, actually, not The Walking Dead. That's fine. I mean, honest mistake. It happens to the best of us. I mean, I did employ you to say literally 6 words and you fucked it. But no, that's all right. That's fine. I forgive you. We've got a show to do. Let's just try it again.
Previously on AMC's The Walking
Oh,
Dead.
fuck you. After 3 months of radio silence, Evan remembers his YouTube channel is a thing and decides to reuse ideas from his previous content. The plan was simple. A snake AI unlike any seen before. He will be the god of Snake World, and he will be beautiful. He will be perfect. However, things did not quite go as planned. Oh no. Oh no. Adrian, buddy, what are you doing? Okay, here we go again. The machine. Fantastic. Wow,
That's
really
fun.
interesting stuff. Okay, great. Now that we've caught up, let's get back into. Thank you. Where what?
Okay, I really like his style. Like he's really quick, he's talking about different AI. Yeah, I have to revisit him later. I didn't know about him, and he seems to be pretty big. So yeah, but that's the best way to actually discover new channels, like going about try to create channels and then go on. Yeah, so I let's see. Okay, I have went through that. Sentdex, that was that. Tech with Tim, yeah, that's for later. Deep learning, no channels to feature. ArXiv insights, whether he gave anything, nope. And that was this thing only. Maybe I go back to history with Code Bullet and Tech with Tim and see their channels that they're recommending. And yeah, I have to definitely check Kite AI. It seems like fun to use right now. Yeah, this is really great. Yep, Code Bullet again. Let's see what channels he recommends. Okay, nothing. What about Tech with Tim? It seems like he got something. basically the same thing, Sentdex, Corey Schaffer, and then FreeCodeCamp. That might be actually interesting. FreeCodeCamp, but if I remember correctly, they're doing different bunch of coding courses available online. So that's really great. Yeah, so are there any other things I want to talk when it comes to materials? Probably not. So I'm just going to improvise right now. Basically, just to recall, we had talked about a couple of channels that I recommend on YouTube. We went through ArXiv, Kaggle, Papers with Code, GitHub, how to navigate through GitHub. Then we went through different courses platform like Coursera, Udacity, Udemy, Edureka. Maybe I can recommend also my platform. So I'm trying to build Data Science Rush. That's the name of the website. And the whole idea is that I will have all the materials in one place. So you start with data science books that I recommend. So yeah, data science from scratch, both for introductory level, and we're going then to like intermediate level up to expert level, and the books that I've mentioned, deep learning with Python, then deep learning, machine learning, those are all great. So those are the couple of books that I wanted to mention, and they are great for the beginning. Also, you can see something more general about AI books. So that's more general, starting with Harari, then Singularity, Sneer, Super Intelligence, Life 3.0, couple of more business-oriented books, and of course you have data science courses that I also recommend. So this is the website where I want to actually show different recommendations, want to have them in one place. I love creating this list, so I want to share them on a single website, so I have a source where to go. Yeah, so datasciencerush.com. This is the website that I recommend. Also, I'm running a blog. Actually, GPT-2 Ray is running the blog, so I had fun with running some of the models, and this text is totally generated. So this is some of my trying to understand how this technology is working, is writing about technology by using AI, by using machine learning algorithms, and it's going pretty well. Like, I'm pretty amazed by some of the results. They are really, really great. So have a look also at the blog. I think it's fun. So that's Data Science Rush. So now let's go back to these channels. FreeCodeCamp, also a big channel. They also recommend quite a lot of different channels I might try later. Okay, so they have like Python tutorials. Let's see what kind of videos they have in here. APIs for beginners, Unreal Engine 5 hours. Oh, that's actually nice. 5-hour videos. I'm always impressed by something like that. 10 hours videos. Wow. Wow, okay. Wow, they have like multiple hours videos all along. Now I'm really impressed. Like, wow. 5 hours, 2 hours, 8 hours. Like, what are they doing? That's wow.
Given the fact that there are very few tutorials,
I'm really impressed.
For you to learn Unreal Engine and C++ on a. As you can see, we have the capsule, arrow, and I said we don't have anything, but we have capsule, arrow, but no. We have just created this Arcanoid _game mode _beep.
Wow, it's really
Here
going
else if
for 4 hours.
Direction now is equal. You see, the enemy gets too close to these walls. That's what I want to prevent. And by the way,
Wow.
I need to go over
Okay,
here.
I'm really impressed with that.
Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and I'm bringing you another free AWS certification course. When you are uploading files to S3, it by default uses SSL or TLS. This to someone else's bucket, another AWS.
Wow, 10
That's all
hours.
there is to it. Instance, which uses the T. Now, there's just one more thing we have off, and I think I should have the same one, and it should resolve instantly there. So great. So just showing. All right.
Wow. Do they stream it? No.
The
It's done. Okay, it's done in pieces.
We want to be running. And this value actually changes based on auto-scaling groups. It will adjust it. So generally you want to be at this number.
Okay, I'm learning something new. Like, wow, 10-hour videos, and like they consistently put hours, 2 hours, 3 hours of videos on the web. Wow. 1 hour code, 14 hours. Wow. With 1 million views, like, wow. So I'm a big fan of Mr. Beast, and I thought like his videos are long. Like he has these videos of like 10 hours of counting to I guess like 100,000, like 1 million, and these guys are amazing. Like this thing, like this has 15 hours of video straight. Like wow. This is just amazing. I'm mind blown right now by the amount of like how much time they put into it.
Hello and welcome to this course on beginner network penetration testing. My name is Heath. You're head of the class, Kev. When we want to call a list that we have an argument, what I'm saying is when I run this script, we're running Python considered argument. It's a shitty script. On a report and talks of
wow,
I'm unsure how long this part takes.
I want to see the comments
we
for
still
that.
have to log in, go through the hello screen, all that fun jazz.
Yeah, this comment is great. You can watch one video before you go to bed, and then 15 hours. Wow, so no, I'm really okay. This is crazy. How do they do that? 11 hours. Wow, this is going on and on. And it has like, wow, this channel is big. Okay, so it seems like they're more for software developers anyway, but it's really great to learn from them as well on how to, yeah, talk about technology in a great way. They have a couple of channels they recommend, so featured channels, subscriptions. Yeah, let's see what the Cybermenton, Cold Cloud, okay. Tech with them, that's really, really great. Yeah, so Free Code Camp, they're really amazing. Yeah, and I thought this stream is pretty long, but hey, it seems like not really. So we're running already for 2 hours and a half. I'm just thinking whether I should stop it right now, or maybe I also want to watch a video or two about something different. So yeah, so Free Code Camp is definitely amazing and worth subscribing to. They recommend a couple of other channels. Maybe I go also with see something from Sentdex. Yeah, so I talked about the different kind of places to get your data from, Kaggle, ArXiv, then those different courses, Data Science Rush, that's all covered. Basically everything is there, and the most amazing place to actually learn at some point is to get to ArXiv and start downloading papers and reading that from the particular domain, and then Papers with Code will help you make sense out of that. So that's really, really great.
So how can you stand out as a student developer? Now this is a question I get asked all the time. So what I'm doing in this video is a collaboration with an ex-Google, ex-Facebook engineer who actually was in charge of kind of the hiring process and looking for new interns and looking for...
No.
Tim, this is the second video that we're doing together. I'm really...
I thought that's going to be tech lead. Okay. So that's a video here. Yeah, 2-minute papers. I'm really impressed by his techniques. Maybe let's see something also about deepfakes, because that's a great topic, especially with this deepfake challenge right now on Kaggle. Really recommend it. AlphaStar is great. I'm really fan of beating StarCraft.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2-Minute Papers with Károly Zsolnai Fehér. The paper we are going to cover today, in my view, is one of the more important things that happened in AI research lately. In the last few years, we have seen DeepMind's AI defeat the best Go players in the world, and after OpenAI's venture in the game of Dota 2, DeepMind embarked on a journey to defeat pro players in StarCraft 2, a real-time strategy game. This is a game that requires a great deal of mechanical skill, split-second decision-making, and we have imperfect information as we only see what our units can see. A nightmare situation for any AI. The previous version of AlphaStar we covered in this series was able to beat at least mid-Grandmaster level players, which is truly remarkable, but as with every project of this complexity, there were limitations and caveats. In our earlier video, the paper was still pending, and now it has finally appeared, so my sleepless nights have officially ended, at least for this work, and now we can look into some more results. One of the limitations of the earlier version was that DeepMind needed to further tune some of the parameters and rules to make sure that the AI and the players play on an even footing. For instance, the camera movement and the number of actions the AI can make per minute has been limited some more and are now more human-like. TLO, a professional StarCraft 2 player, noted that this time around it indeed felt very much like playing.
Yeah, this is really great. Yeah, so I really love his clips. It's like very short videos, very instructional, and there's plenty of them. Facial animation, VR. Human faces. Yeah, it's really great how many amazing videos you have and how much knowledge you have here. And of course, the great source I haven't mentioned yet is of course Stack Overflow. So this is something I tend to visit often. Different kind of questions. I always Google like people who did similar problems in the past. I need some bits of code. It's a great way to start if you have a question. Yeah. So this is really great. Yeah, I'm still mind-boggled by Free Code Camp and how they did those 10 hours videos, 15 hours videos. Like they probably did it in pieces, but still that's really amazing. And the way it's coherent, consistent, it's really great. I mean, it's also crazy. And also I have to watch this 10-12 hours of coding hackathon. That was Tech with Team. Yeah, that was him, I guess. Yeah, this was really great. This is really the highlights of today for what I learned on YouTube, because you can definitely learn a lot. Like as you can see, there are so many different materials, and it's only limited to you and whether you do a good search or not, and how you find all these interesting materials. And also there's a lot of space for other people who want to develop their own channels, I guess. And this is what I'm trying to do, and show yet another perspective on data science, machine learning, which is also more practical on how you get into business. This is what really interests me, because I like building like very practical applications of everything, and putting this work into business, into practical thing. Oh, StarCraft 2, another video about that. It's really great. Like he has really many great videos, great thumbnails also. So it's really fun. Yeah, I think that will be it for today. I've been streaming for 2 hours 30 minutes. It's been crazy. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for the comments, and see you in the future. I'll probably do something crazy. I want to make 2020 really special, so I'll be creative. I'll be doing many different stuff. As I said, I'm already developing this data science Rush website, but that's not all of it. I also plan to do other stuff. I also plan to do different websites, different posts on Medium. So if you don't know, please check my Medium account. So Medium at P. Oyecki. This is the place where I write, and I'm trying to write a lot because that's this is one of the most read articles that I have written. So yeah, and this is Przemek Chojecki. If you look for me on Medium, you find plenty of my articles. I'm trying to give also like advice on different books and courses. Also, I'm running the courses myself. Always fun to have more input from you. Let me know what you think about it. I'm trying to build this consistent material online for all the books that I wanted to have when I was starting that weren't there. So basically, this is a different perspective because I believe that all the materials are already there on the internet. I don't want to copy that and develop that again because it's not needed. But what's missing is a good repository of every good material and the guidance to the beginners, to intermediates, to experts on like what to read next, like what you should learn next, like what you should use right now, how to approach problems. So actually developing this whole mindset and problem solving mindset, how to approach data science. And this is what I want to do. I want to be more about the mindset, about how important it is to think about problems, about problem solving, how you should direct your career in data science, what you should learn next. Because as you have seen, you had this 10 hours long videos. You have really amazing material which is available over there on the internet for free. You just have to watch it and then code yourself. But the way how to do it step by step, this is something which is missing because there's no one there to guide, like beginners, intermediates, and like what should be the next steps. This is what I would like to do. This is what I want to be my input into data science and machine learning community, and hopefully this channel will grow big, and I'd be grateful for all your comments, and I'm always happy to help. So thank you for watching, and that's the end of the stream today. See you in the next episode. And of course, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like under this video. See you!